It's good to be back. It's been a while since we chatted together. So thank you for coming down today. Just a couple of questions by a little show of hands. Have you ever felt afraid of something? Have you ever felt like that's just really too tough to do? Okay. What do you do when you're afraid? Yeah. Wow, okay. So sometimes they face their fears, sometimes they just give up, and sometimes they panic. But what do you do? Keep on trying. Wonderful, thank you. What else do some people do when you're afraid? You never get afraid? You have no solutions for me? I get afraid a lot. I'm counting on you. Do you ever go talk to mom and dad? Or some friend? Our teacher? Okay, so there's people we talk to. Anybody turn a light on? Sometimes you turn a light on in your house. They turn the lights on all the time because they're afraid of the dark. So you know what to do with that. So today, in the second reading that Joey read, we heard about a letter that St. Paul wrote to a friend of his named Timothy. Timothy was afraid. Timothy felt overwhelmed by what he was doing because he was in charge of a parish, a church. Do you know anybody who's in charge of a parish? I am. Well, thank you very much for noticing. There are times that I feel overwhelmed. I look for somebody to write me a letter. So those are some of the things there. And what did he say? What did Paul say to him? He said, I want you to remember the day of your ordination, the day you became a bishop. And what happened was St. Paul and others put their hands on their heads and said a little prayer over them, asking the Holy Spirit to be with them. And we do that at different times when we celebrate some of the sacraments of our church. We also do it during the prayer, during the Eucharist. It's about asking for the Holy Spirit to come upon us. And so that's a little bit about what St. Paul did. And he said, I want you to ask for 3 little special gifts. The gifts to be strong. In other words, to be maybe not afraid. And to love. And to be wise. Make good choices. But one of the things today that I just thought I'd learn something from you is, what's my job? What do I do? Yes?
You teach people about the Lord.
I teach people about the Lord. Thank you. Teresa? I run the parish. Let's take a vote among the people out there. Do they think I run the parish? Archbishop Carlson says I run the parish, but I don't know if they believe it. Anything else that I do? Yes. I teach about Jesus, okay. Do you think I have fun? Yeah, well, thank you. You're right, I do. I really like being here. Would any of you like to do my job? I was trying for vocation recruitment today. Oh, thank you. Oh, how old are you? 8? Oh, wow, let's see. I only have to wait 20 years and you're going to take my job. Thank you very much. We'll start working on it now. Tell me your name. LJ, right? All right, so let's get all the details down. You're 8 years old. Okay. What else do you want to know about my job? What can I convince you to join us? Sometimes. He's never done it before. You know, somehow I feel the same way each and every day. Never done that before. But one of the things are, sometimes for each of us that are here, to think about what do we want to do? You know, how's God calling you? Miss Becky, before Mass, talked about being called to be a steward, about sharing your gifts. St. Paul today reminded Timothy about his job as a pastor. And you reminded me of some of the things that I'm supposed to be doing. And I appreciate that. Because sometimes we forget what we're really supposed to be doing. There's other times that to be moms and dads, to be husband and wife, that sometimes we're being called to be that. Sometimes we're called to be single people. God's just asking us there, but the big thing is God keeps giving us whatever we need to do what we're doing. What are you called to be right now? What are you called to be? Yeah. Helpers. Helpers, very good. Okay. Children of God, helpers. Yes. Kids. That's right. You guys are supposed to be kids. And some of you are students, right? So you're called to be student, called to be helpers, called to be kids, called to be stewards. So you are to ask God for whatever you need to do those really well. Just like, and so sometimes if you want to say a prayer for me, that I can do my job, do what St. Paul said. He asked that Timothy would be strong and loving and wise. And so if and when you ever get to pray for me, if you would remember those three things, I would really appreciate it. Okay? Thank you all. And I will pray for you to be good kids, students, helpers. Okay? And I'll probably do the same thing, that you would be strong and loving and wise. Those are good ways to be students, helpers, and kids. Thank you very much.